Hey guys, I have to keep it down again because I've had my parents here and they're in bed now. They're kind of early retirers, so yeah, I'm gonna keep this one quiet. But as I promised, this is part 2 of my Harry Potter rant. Now I kind of forgot, but in my first one, I said that my favorite character was Ginny from the books, and I've actually got a couple of vinyl figurines of her. So I've got this one of her from the second book. You see, she's like got the little diary there, and she's writing in it. I think it's just kind of cute, even if she was kind of messed up at the time. I'm gonna do. And then I got my other one here. Is Quidditch Ginny. This is my favourite out of the two of them. She's got the quaffle and she's on the broom, and yep. I don't just collect anime figurines. I don't have any of Hermione, I'm afraid. She's kind of hard to find. I do have, I won't go get them, but I do have a full Harry Potter outfit. I've got Hufflepuff robe and I've got the tie. And for my birthday one year, a couple of my friends went to the Universal Studio. See that remnants of dinner and dessert on my face. And yeah, my friends went to Universal Studio in America and they bought back for me Hermione's wand. So it's probably not the one that Emma uses, but it's close enough for me. It's pretty legit looking. I'm a messy eater. So yeah, we got these two. So I'm just gonna set them up so you can see them. So there you go. Okay, they're just sitting on my laptop. So this part, because it's a continuation of the last one, I'm not going to do a shout out this time. So I'm just going to pick up where I left off. So as I mentioned before, I wrote Harry Potter fanfiction. And you can listen to me rant about it as much as you want. And just decide for yourselves if you're interested in reading it. And for those who are, I'm going to put a link in the description below. And it will take you to my profile page on fanfiction.net. And I'll put in the title of the story so you guys know what you're looking for, because I have other various fanfictions here and there, just little ones. Most of them are one-shots. So let's go down. Introducing my Harry Potter character, Rachel, and it's spelled a little bit different. It's spelled Rachele. It's Norway, just with an E on the end. So this is her. I've done a drawing of her. This is kind of old. This is like one of my first just experimental tries of her. I've got like better ones. Yeah, this is just her, and she's in Gryffindor. Now, her part in the story, what I've done is I've written the same story as Harry Potter. I've kind of repeated books 1 to 7, all of them, but it's in Rachel's perspective. Harry himself is kind of on the side. He does become one of her close friends, and she does get involved with all the adventures that he goes on, but she has a very vital role to play. Like, if they also fight in the same battle per se, but Harry's off here this side doing something else, while Rachel, she's off doing something completely different, that no one really knows about. And sometimes they don't even know she's there. So I just thought I'd break down stuff about her. So basic thing, brown hair, bright green eyes. When people meet her, it's the first thing they notice. She's just got these vivid green eyes, like traffic lights, just about, and you're just like, whoa, her eyes are really bright. And if you see here, this is magically done. She magically dyed the tips of her hair purple. And that she actually made her hair like that for the Yule Ball, but she liked the look, so she decided to keep it that way. So it becomes a look for her, really. Kind of makes her stand out a little, but whatever. She starts out as when she's 11 in first year, she starts out very hyper and outgoing, and to the point where she's very in people's faces when it comes to trying to make friends. She's a little bit overly outgoing, but you will find that she matures over the years, especially after the 4th book when Voldemort comes back. That kind of event would have an impact on everybody, and it has its effect on Rachel. So by the last book, she is a mature young woman. She's still friendly and easy to get along with. She's not shy. And the most important thing about her is that she's not like the rest. She's not an ordinary witch. She's not even a witch. She's what I call she's on sorceress, almost goddess level of power. She's what I call an OPOC, overpowerful original character. And she's part of a long, thousands of year traditional line. Not family line, but more like a chosen one line. Where how they've got movies where certain heroes take on certain powers and they have to do their job before they move on. This is kind of Rachel. She was picked specifically to do a job. So she was born with this magic that's just through the roof. Like, she makes Voldemort look and feel this big. And I call it pure light agent magic. And because that's more or less what it is. It's Rachel herself is the embodiment of all light and good in the world. Like, anything that you think of that's just happiness or pure or anything remotely just good in general is her. She represents that. And she's kind. She tries to be kind to everyone around her. There are very few exceptions, Voldemort being one of them. And one of them was Bellatrix. Bellatrix is actually extreme version. And Bellatrix is one of 2 people she comes this close to killing to, and that's important because this magic she has is so pure, so innocent and non-corruptive that it's actually forbidding for her to kill anybody. She can harm them, she can torture them, because she's still only human. So anger is a natural emotion. But killing is a very extreme choice, because it can turn you down a very dark path. So if Rachel were to take a life deliberately, a human or any kind of natural earth life, it would corrupt her soul. And it gives her the potential to turn dark, and that darkness will consume her. And the magic that's inside her right now, it's a living essence in a sense. It cannot live harmlessly with a dark magic like that. And if it overcomes her and becomes too much and she gets lost in that darkness, the magic has to leave, and that alone will make her die. So another little quirky thing about her, because the magic is from head to toe, it swells inside her like a living energy. It's what makes her blood flow, it's what keeps her alive. So what's the most abnormal thing about her body is her heart. Her heart is purely a battery, or the core for the magic she has. It's like like in mining areas, I guess, you have like cables that run on the roof, but they all run. They've got a circuit of electricity running through them, and they're all run by they can't run without that generator at the end. That's where the core is. Her magic's the same way. It runs through her veins and it runs through her body, but it circulates and regenerates itself with her heart, because her heart is the living organ. But it's not the blood that's getting her heart moving, it's the magic. So it doesn't pump. Her heart's not doing this. She doesn't have a heartbeat because it doesn't need to. It's just a battery core for her magic. So she can freak people out. You can do this to her, feel this and feel this, and she won't have a pulse. So yeah, there's a few abnormal things about her. Another one is that she was born with big white feathered wings. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I've got my sketchbook here. I just wanted to show you something. This is just filled with a lot of my just rough drawings. Now, Rachel doesn't always have her wings out, okay? It'd be weird watching this girl walking down the street with big wings dragging behind her. No, she magically hides them in a certain place on her body. So they're kind of... But the wings are an extension of herself. Okay, so putting her wings away the way she does, she explains it. She says it feels like she's sitting on her hands. But she gets used to it, so she doesn't really notice. And I'm trying to find the picture. This is driving me nuts. There it is. Okay. So what happens, if you look here, this is a really rough drawing. They become tattoos. See, they're just rough for the wings and they're on her back. So if you were to like lift up her shirt, you would see this on her. And she was born with that. So she wasn't rebellious girl. She didn't go to a tattoo parlor and get herself tattooed. She just naturally got that, at birth. And wings are huge. Like, this is Rachel here, just scaling down to size here. Her wings can stretch out. It's like with the camera, like, really big wings. But she can magically reduce them or extend them to whatever size she wants. She can do that. Show off. Now, why is she so OP, in the Harry Potter world? What job does she have to do to get given all this power? Well, her job description is the Earth Guardian. So the Harry Potter story, it's just her school life. It's just something temporary to put her into, but after school and when she's a lot older, she reaches her full potential and eventually goes off to do what she was born for. And it's very lonely because other women before her that have had this job, that were the guardians, because they usually died alone. That's their sacrifice to protecting the world, and that's because they live longer than everybody else. So Rachel will live to exactly 200. She needs to live that long to to fulfill her purpose. And once her job's done, because the magic will keep her young looking for that whole time, or youngish, I guess. And once the job's done, the magic will leave her body and she'll die as an old woman. And that's kind of somber topic. Now, Rachel's lucky. She's very, very lucky, because while everyone else was destined to die alone, she doesn't. I'll explain that in a bit. Now, in the first 4 or 5 books, she has a pretty close relationship with the main 3, Harry, Ron, Hermione. But by the time the 5th book comes around, there's a big drastic change. Won't tell you what that is, but she develops 2 more friendships, because they gradually grow over the years, and then when that, so a certain event, something happens suddenly in the 5th book, and she goes from hanging out from these 3 to 2 other people that are very important. Like, these are the ultimate friendships I was aiming for. These aren't people from the original books. These are made up characters as well, like Rachel is. The first one, I'll get this out of the way, is her eventual love interest. I've done a picture of him too. This is just a first draft, because there's more of him. I've got better ones of them actually in my sketchbook, but this was the first one I did of him. This is, you can see his name, Robert Cordelis, and you can see his tie. He's a Slytherin boy, but he doesn't go evil. He fights for the good side. Rachel, when she gets close to him, she starts calling him Robbie. She just kind of slides into it. It's her nickname for him. And there was one time when she was kind of just teasing him, you know, that she's like, "Hello, fellow Slytherin." And he's like, "Well, you're in Gryffindor though." And that kind of stuck. Like, because they were teasing about each other's houses, his endearment for her is calling her Gryffindor. It just kind of stays with that. So it becomes a thing. It does take a while for them to get together, because Rachel is just completely oblivious when it comes to romance, as her focus is just elsewhere. But yeah. Now, I'll show you one of my other pictures of the 2 of them together, like my favourite one, because this is kind of more what they look like. You know, it's really rough, but this is them. It's one of my favourite ones I did of them, because I just like the pose and I like the way they're looking at each other, and it's really cute. Yeah, that's them. But moving on to the other friend, she becomes Rachel's everlasting, lifelong best friend, and I mean that, like lifelong, eternal best friend. This OC belongs to my best friend Alex, and I got her permission to put this girl in it. Her name is Claudia. And I'm sure you noticed I don't have the cats with me this time. They're out the back and I can hear them clawing up the door. I'll just go let them in. Okay. Just let her in. She's really playful right now. Right. What am I? Yes, Claudia. It took some time to perfect Claudia, like writing her into the book, because she wasn't my character. So I had to go over with Alex over and over again about what her backstory and her history and her family and the relationship with them, and what her thoughts would be in certain areas, because while my focus is generally on Rachel, there are certain points here and there where I get different perspective or different thoughts from other characters. So it could be one big segment, and then I flip it, and it's from the point of view of Robbie or Claudia or someone else, and then I flip it back. It's always brief. So I had to really get accurate with how I had to find out inside out what Claudia was like. And I feel like I know. I mean, the fanfiction was relatively successful. Claudia came out okay. And Alex said she was happy with how I'm interpreting her, so yeah. So, Rachel meets Claudia in her second year, because Claudia's a year younger, so she's a cute little newly sorted Hufflepuff. She's an Hufflepuff like me. And Alex. And it does take some time for Rachel to really get Claudia to be close with her, because Claudia came from a abusive family. She's got parents that really don't give a damn about her. They have generations of Slytherins, and when they found out Claudia was Hufflepuff, they immediately sent her packing, sent her close to Hogwarts and said, "We don't want anything to do with you anymore, you're a disgrace." Just for being a Hufflepuff. It's pretty bad, isn't it? And her sister's even worse. She becomes just this evil cow, and she uses Claudia as her personal punching bag. She hates Claudia with a passion, because she had this pride of being the prodigy child, of the Clarkens. So she just completely despises Claudia's existence. So her goal the whole way through is to kill Claudia. No joke. I'm being blunt. I'm not even exaggerating. So her first time meeting Claudia properly is saving her from Gertrude's abuse. Yes, Alex named her sister Gertrude. But that's just so we can make fun of her. And so over the years, Rachel's constantly looking out for her, and if she so much as sees Gertrude go near her, she jumps in front of Claudia and protects her and whatever else is. And while Gertrude doesn't know the truth behind Rachel's powers, she can sense she's someone not to trifle with. She just gets this vibe from Rachel that she shouldn't mess with her. She shouldn't cross her. So if she ever intervenes with her trying to hurt Claudia, then she does actually. She may be evil and she's psycho, but she's not stupid. She's actually quite intelligent. So Claudia, this poor thing, but Rachel doesn't find out that she's been disowned until the 5th book. Dumbledore let her stay at Hogwarts, so she's been there through the whole term and through every summer holiday at the school. That's how lonely Claudia's been. And Rachel had no idea until the 5th book. But up until then, at that point, Rachel considered Claudia a good friend. But what flipped that point, the good friend to best friend, was when she found out what Claudia's family did and that she had no home, ultimately. She invited Claudia to come live with her. She didn't even hesitate. Of course, Dumbledore always knew about this and she wasn't happy about it. She's like, "Why didn't you tell me? I could have come and kept her company at the school. I live alone." Why Rachel lives alone when she's just a kid? If you want to know, go read it, okay? It's a whole another story why she lives by herself. She has a cat. I had a cat, Tiger. When I created Rachel, I had my cat Tiger, but he passed away about nearly 7 years ago. But Rachel's cat Tiger is inspired by him. He's more or less my tiger, but he's different. Her tiger's a lot different. He's the same kind of cat. He's a tabby. He's lazy. He's male. He's got a low, deep voice, and there's one little different thing about him. He's a magical cat. He's not Crookshank. He's not Kneasel. he just is a very rare breed of magic cat. He can talk, he can speak fluent English. In the wizarding world, that's not a common thing to find. But Claudia. So there's this one scene. I just want to show you this one drawing I did. So this is Rachel and Claudia. This is when they really, one of their first deep moments as best friends. Claudia was scared about Rachel ditching her when she found out the truth about her living at Hogwarts by herself. But the only thing Rachel did was pull her into a room and she locked the door so they wouldn't be interrupted. And she told Claudia that she loved her, and it was the first time that Claudia had been told that by anybody. So right here I've got Claudia broke down and they have this really emotional hug, and Rachel she's just comforting her and holding her, and it's a really touching moment between the two. And I got this one as well. One of my first attempt at doing Rachel with Robbie. The other one I've got in my book. I like this one better. I don't know why. It looks like the cover of a romantic comedy or something. It's just really adorable. Now at the end, I've got one more drawing here, and well, in Sixth book, this is the only book Rachel has a shot at Quidditch, and only because she was having enough time being a spectator. In fact, she's such a loud person. You can hear her screaming and cheering from the other side of the stadium. That's how loud she is. But then one year, Harry and Ginny talk her into trying out for the Quidditch team. Of course, she gives it a shot because they kind of guilt trip her into it. And this is her. She's being a chaser alongside Ginny. And yeah, again, you'll have to read to see how good she is. Why did Harry and Ginny have to convince her to join the team? The final thing I want to touch on, because this isn't in the fan fiction, it's an after story, why Claudia is so important and just how close they become. Well, Rachel and Robbie are endgame. I'm saying that now, okay? I'm not saying when they get together, I'm just saying that they do. And they're totally endgame, they get married and they have kids and whatever else. She does lose Robbie after about 50 years or so together. And I thought to myself, what is a death that Rachel can't cure? That you can just suddenly die of when you're in your 60s or nearly 70s. Like, it would be so sudden, because Rachel can heal people that are an inch from death. As long as you have a slither of life in you, all she just does is heal and you're 100%. But once you're dead, because her job is to protect life on the planet. So stuff that's outside of her realm, time travel or anything to do with time, or anything outside the Earth, out in space, or heck, even death, is not her thing. So once the person's dead, there's nothing she can do. So I figured it out. They could just say goodnight one night, and he has an aneurysm. He's nearly 70, so I think it's an age thing. And I can just imagine how traumatic it would be to wake up and find him dead. So it's Robbie's death is the trigger to Rachel leaving, because all sorceresses before her eventually left their families to fulfill their role. They have to spend the rest of their lives traveling around the earth and going to different countries and protecting the innocent until the day they die. That's pretty much all. That's pretty much all she does. And Robbie was the trigger. She's seen too much death, and Robbie meant the world to her. He was the love of her life, and it changed her forever. So she left her family, her grandkids, her kids, and I told you she doesn't stay alone because Claudia goes with her. And people wonder, but she lives to 200, how does Claudia stay with her? Little fun fact about Claudia, she is a prodigy, revolutionary, skillful witch at potions, like beyond belief. And she invents a potion that extends her life. And she keeps doing that until they die. Like, she stays with Rachel until they're both 200. I know it's a bit of a stretch, but if she runs out of those rare ingredients that she needs for that potion, all Rachel does, because Rachel does have the power. Only when Claudia can't do it herself, because Claudia's very independent that way. Rachel would just go bang on her head and go, I just gave you another 10 years to give you time to do what you need for the potion. So I was like, yay, thank you. And the way they die, because Claudia doesn't have this natural life extension, like she's living longer than she should. When Rachel dies, when the magic leaves her, and so does Claudia's. So the minute that Rachel dies of an old woman, Claudia turns to dust, and her body just goes, out, just becomes one with the wind. And people do find Rachel, but they just think she's an old woman that just died alone in bed. There's no trace that there was anyone with her. So it's kind of a bittersweet ending. But it wasn't sad for them because Claudia gave Rachel the one thing that the others didn't, and that was companionship and a lifelong kind of a love that she can hold on to. She was never alone. And that's why Claudia is important. That's why Rachel and Claudia are like the thing for this story, even though they're not romantically involved. But this is their story. So I guess that's it. I've got not much time on my timer left. So I thought I'd quickly introduce what my next video will be about. So bye bye, and I'd show you my cat again, but she's got really bonkers right now. She's zipping up and down the house like a bullet, so she won't stay still. No. So in my next video, I was gonna do one about basketball because that's another favorite hobby of mine, but I promised Daniel that I'd do it with him, and he's not gonna come over for a little while because we've got an inspection coming up. So I'm gonna hold off with that for a bit. So I thought I'd do one that I can bring my husband back into, and it's one I promised him that he definitely has to, and we're gonna talk about anime series that we love, that we've watched, that we think are severely underrated. Just ones that we love and we crack up, and you can't find anything. Merchandise and posters and the DVDs are just difficult to find, or there's like not many videos or anything on YouTube, just stuff that just we can't see. So it'll probably take a while to write down series that we can think of. I'm not wearing a rather wool shirt. Never mind. This is one my best friend Alex. This one Alex bought me just spontaneously. It was an impulse buy. This is Rainbow Dash. So yeah. In conclusion, I will leave you with another random sketch. This is Robbie in his little fantasy world, dreaming about his lovely Rachel. So one cat decided to come in. Yay! Stay true to my word. Kitties are in every single video. I'm just in cat heaven right now. Oh my gosh, I love it so much. Ow! And she just nipped my nose. Okay, and I will leave you with one more sketch.